welcome to another episode of Flow Finding. It's another Flow Finding Friday, and I am super pumped. I'm super excited to be with you today. Hi, Aaron. Thank you for joining in. I'm super excited to be with you today on Flow Finding Friday. How are you doing? How's been your week? I hope it's been productive. I hope you've been able to check off some of those items on your to-do list. I also hope you've been able to take out the time to just breathe and to connect with the people who are around you. My name is Suni Malu, and if you're joining me for the first time today on Flow Finding is a process of making decisions that makes it easy to be, do, have, and create the life that you desire. So we have been going on this series for couple of months now. We have discussed a lot of things, varying from clarity, goal setting, to building connections and managing emotions. So, how are you doing? On today's episode, I wanted to talk about something quite interesting, quite simple. And if you saw my status earlier, is a storytelling Friday. I basically want to tell you a story. For those of you who know me, I love telling stories because I believe that stories have a way of cementing and bringing about change at the subconscious level. So yes, I love to tell stories. So, what story are we going to be sharing today? Yesterday I was doing some reading. And I came across someone's personal story that stood out for me. The story that made a lot of difference and got me thinking as I went through my day about how much power, how much control we have, how much change we can actually make if we want or decide to in our life. Hi, Moki! It's been so long. It's really good to have you here. So today I want to tell you the story of Rogers. Rogers is this amazing young man. As of now, he is about 48 years old. And he was sharing his story where I read it. He shared a story about his whole life growing up and where he is today. So he grew up, and in some way he discovered or found himself at an early age, discovered that he was obese. He has been overweight for as long as he remembered. Since he was 10 years old, he was so huge. And that went into his teenage years, into his 20s, his 30s, and so on. And for a while, he was depressed about it. He was angry about it and tried to do a lot of things. Tried dieting, tried different workout routines, and so on and so forth. But if you have tried any of those things before, I know I have, you would discover that sometimes you tend to give up on the way for so many reasons. You get discouraged, you get tired, or whatever the reason is. A lot of people tend to give up. So Rogers went through his own routine and gave up on a lot of these things until he got to a place when he was in his 40s where he stopped snapping pictures of himself. He didn't want to see pictures of himself. He never took pictures of himself, so that he had no idea of what his weight was. And then something happened on this amazing day when he went for his niece's wedding, and someone took a photo of him and his wife. And he was looking at the photo and he was surprised. So he asked his wife, he's like, "Who is this person?" And the wife thought, "Well, you must be kidding, right? That's you." And something happened, something went off in Roger's head. Remember, it's been years since he took any photo of himself or saw himself. So he had come to this delusion that I am how I see myself. So he started thinking, okay, I'm not overweight. People can think whatever they think. So he had built up that image in his head that seeing himself now was like a reality check for him. And he said something happened in that moment when he discovered, this is me. By the way, at this point, Rogers was weighing about 276.6 pounds. So that's to give you an idea of how big he was. But remember, I said that Rogers had come to believe that that's how he is the way he was born, is the way he is, and there's nothing he can do about it. So he lived with it and he accepted and did nothing about it for the longest time. Now, something happened to Rogers. His niece fell ill and she had this particular disease, a condition that wasn't very common and had no treatment at the time. So what Rogers was passionate about was he really wanted to be able to help her, but didn't know how he could. Hi, Joyce. So there was this Baltimore Marathon that was going on at the time that he could use as a fundraiser. So remember now, this came at a point when One, Rogers had decided to make a change in his life because, oh my God, this is where I am. And maybe you're like that. I first discovered this in Anthony Robbins' book, Awaken the Giant Within, when he said, change only happens in one moment. It takes one moment for change to happen. It doesn't matter if you postpone this one moment till 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, but it takes just one single moment of realization for change to happen, for bad habits to stop, and for you to be able to take a step in the opposite direction. And for him, this was the moment that had come. Now, at this point, he looked himself dead in the eyes and looked at how sad his wife looked. His wife was much smaller, much healthier, but she supported him either ways. And he decided in that moment he was going to do something. And this is the interesting part about what Rogers decided to do. Remember how I spoke last week about clarifying what it is that you want out of life? Rogers sat down and he came up with 3 things that he wanted. 1, he wanted to be healthier, so he wanted to lose a lot of weight. 2, he wanted to be able to raise funds and support his niece, the research that could save his niece's life, right? And 3, he wanted to experience something that he promised himself as a child. When he was 7 years old, his father had run the Bolton Marathon, and he saw this as an opportunity. I'm going to run this when I'm older. And so with these 3 clear goals in mind, Rogers set out. Remember I said he was 276 pounds. But when Rogers told his wife, I want to run the marathon, you know, when you're used to hearing people talk about things they want to do over and over and never carry out, they never take it, they never follow through, you tend to stop believing at some point. But she supported and was like, if this is what you want to do, I will support you. Hi, Tammy. So with these 3 clear aims of improving his personal life, losing some weight, raising money for the research that could save his niece's life, and also running this marathon that he had promised himself as a child that he would, Rogers set out. And this is what he did. He started jogging. Of course, at first he couldn't jog, so he started going for a walk. But he did this for every day for the next 10 months. Every day for the next 10 months. Now, I said before, 1, it takes one single moment for you to make a change. And you may not be like Rogers. So, for example, you may not be overweight. But there is an aspect of life. I've gone out and I hear people say, oh, this is who I am. It's the way I am. We make so much excuses for things about ourselves that we can actually change. So we never even get to a time where we put in the work to change ourselves. You have so much power within you that you can change something about yourself that you do not like. He didn't like his weight. I remember growing up, I always believed I was a very shy person. I couldn't talk in public. I'm just introverted. It's who I am. It's the way I am. And I believed that for so many years until something happened that changed that for me. And I said, wait, I could experience a different life. I could be on a platform and speak the way these people speak. And I took out the time to begin to work on myself, to develop myself. And I set out this target, I remember setting a goal for myself a couple of years back to say, I want to stand and speak in front of 500 people and make a presentation. Of course, that happened. It was actually in front of 1,000 people. That happened. But it didn't just happen without the work. So you see that first, you get to that moment where you make that decision to make a change about your life. You have to get to that moment. And like I said, it takes only one single moment to realize, you know what, I need this thing to change. Okay? Someone said, it's still Anthony Robbins who said, if you're still doing or practicing a bad habit or bad lifestyle, it's probably because there's something you're benefiting from it. The day that the pain outweighs the benefit, you're going to change. All right. So once you get to that moment, you clearly define what it is that you wanted. For me, I had defined, I want to speak in front of 500 people. This was someone who thought I was shy. I had believed I was shy and introverted and I couldn't stand on the stage and speak to people. But I went out to work on myself and set this goal for myself that I wanted to speak in front of 500 people. Of course, I went above and beyond that 500. And today I do this I do this for a living. I speak, I teach, I train people. So what is this for you? What is it about yourself that you're accepting and telling yourself, it's who I am? I say this because I see a lot of people make excuses for bad behaviors. Oh, it's the way I am. It's who I am. Rogers believed it's who he was. He was born obese. But there is so much that once you decide, you can change about yourself. And for today, what I want to say is, if you can't change something about yourself, why wait? Why not now? I mean, Rogers waited till he was 47 years old. And I started thinking to myself yesterday, because at this point, he ran the marathon. He practiced every day for 10 months. Then he began to run, then swimming, and then going to the gym and all of this. And he became very fit. He lost about 170 something pounds within those 10 months, right? And he was now going on vacations with his wife, looking young and fit. And I thought to myself, if you could experience this lifestyle, why wait till you're in your 50s? Why not do this when you're younger? Why not do this earlier on so that you can enjoy the outcome, you can enjoy the results of it anyways? Why not now? If you can do it, why not now? All right. So I'm super excited for those of you that have been able to join me on today's episode. Remember, because I keep talking about setting clear goals, there is no magic. Setting clear goals alone is not a magic pill. It doesn't automatically change everything. It just means that it gives you a direction towards which you're walking, so that you're not running fast, arriving nowhere, but you're running now, no matter how slow, towards a specific direction, which is what Rogers did. He exercised every day for 10 months. And guess what he did? He has this picture gallery. If I have the time, if I remember, I'll post the link to the story here for you so you can read it up for yourself. He had this gallery where he took pictures of himself the 7th day of each month. He documented for those 10 months, he had pictures that he took on the 7th of each month, documenting his progress, taking feedback, and working harder towards it. So clarifying your goals alone is not enough. You have to work. You have to put in the work. You have to put in the action. You're going to feel the fear, but I've said this so many times and I'm going to say this again. Feel the fear, but do it anyways. If your why is strong enough. If your why is strong enough. I had to get to a place where I felt this is no way to live. I admire people. I admire Miles Monroe, Les Brown. I admire people who can stand in front of people. Rogers had to get to a place where he's like, no, this can't be my life. I really want to have a healthier life. So what is it for you that you need to make a decision today? If it's writing, you need to decide that I have to stop giving excuses and pick up the pen and start writing. If it's designing, can you give up the excuse and say, oh, this is not who I am? If there's anything I've come to learn in this journey, my journey so far, is that everything is learned. Everything is learned. So if you don't know how to do something right now, you can learn it. You can learn it. You learned how to sit as a child. You learned how to stand. You learned how to run. Are you going to fall flat on your face sometimes? Yes, you are. But you always stand up, pick yourself up and run again. Pick yourself up and run and keep moving. All right. So I don't know what the goal is that you have set for yourself for either the year, the month, whatever it is. I don't know the goal that you have set for yourself, but I want you to take out the moment to clarify specifically what you want. Then, like Rogers, put in the action. Put in the action, begin to walk, and then begin to jog, and then begin to run. Of course, he ran the Bolton Marathon. He ran it to finish, and he has run it a couple of times more. Why? Because he put in the work. I have spoken in front of 5,000. I've spoken in front of 100. 500. I've spoken in front of 100. And I'm looking forward to speaking in front of more. But I keep building the capacity. So what is it that you need to build capacity for? My charge to you today is stop making excuses for where you are. Stop making excuses for where you are now and begin to plan and decide today where you want to be headed, what choices you want to make differently, what decisions you need to make. Make it, stick with it, and begin to act. Begin to act. That's the only way you're going to see results. If you see Rogers' before and after, it's amazing. It's amazing the change that is achievable. It's amazing the change that's achievable with constant, consistent action, taking feedback and acting again. All right. So once again, if you can have it, why not now? If you can make the change, why wait? Why wait? Why make excuses? Why make excuses? All right. Oh, thank you for joining me. Song, thank you for joining me, Chibike. I'm so glad for all of you that have been able to stay with me on today's episode of Flowfinding. As you go out this weekend, I want you to give yourself the opportunity to decide something that you want to change. Decide something that you've had enough of, something that you have made excuses for so long. It's who I am, it's how I am, it's how I've always been. It doesn't serve you, all right? Take charge and decide if It's humanly possible. It's up to you. If Rogers, from my story today, if you're just joining, I shared an amazing story of a young man that I found, Rogers. Okay, I'll share the link here and you can go read his story. If Rogers can lose weight from 276 pounds all the way to 150 something pounds within 10 months, then you can do what you set your mind on. If I can go from a place where I'm so shy to communicate with people around me to speaking in front of 1,000 people, then you can too. But first of all, remember, you need to get to a place where you stop making excuses for where you are. You have to take responsibility. It's where you are and it's okay. Take responsibility for where you are, then decide where you want to go. Decide. You can set 1 or 2 clear goals specifically. This is what I want to achieve. This is what I want to attain in this aspect of my life. Your own may not be health. It may not be public speaking, but whatever it is, if it's with your finances, if it's with your health, if it's with whatever aspect of your life it is, make that decision, make that choice, and begin to act like Rogers did. Consistently taking baby steps from walking to jogging to running. All right? So begin to take baby steps towards that direction and begin to give yourself the chance to experience the life that you truly desire. So thank you once again for joining me. Hey, take care. Thank you for joining. And Ify, it's amazing to have you here. So I look forward to seeing you again next week, the same time on Flowfinding. And if you missed my previous episode, please catch up on IGTV. All my videos are there, or you can find me on YouTube. You can watch all the videos there as well. My name is Suni Malo. You can find me on any social media. I look forward to working with you. I am super excited about my product that is coming out. I've been getting a lot of questions from people who are trying to how do I clarify my goals? And I've put together a product that I would be launching and sharing the link in my bio shortly within this weekend. So look forward to it. Look out for it. And remember, take action. Give yourself the gift of the life you desire. Excuses do not serve you. Someone said, if you don't like where you are right now, move. You're not a tree. Move. You're not a tree. So if you don't like the results you're getting, if you don't like the outcomes you're getting, if you don't like X, a tree. All right. Sorry about that. Thank you so much again, and do have an amazing weekend. See you same time next week. Have a great week ahead. Take out the time to rest. Next week, the same time. Sorry, call has been interrupting me. All right. Bye. Have an amazing weekend, guys. Bye-bye.